About halfway through the album recording sessions, and Rich Kass is gonna record some drum overdubs and things now, and I thought it would be as good a time as any to show you what the music I'm looking at looks like. So one of the first pieces we recorded was the prelude to Anthropometrics, which is Rich Harrold's recomposition of Anthropology, well-known bebop tune, and well, the eagle-eyed amongst you may recognize some motifs when I show you the music in a minute. But yeah, on the album we've also got a piece called Anthropometrics, and yeah, this is an additional composition which is a prelude to it, and it's one of the more peaceful compositions. And I really enjoy these moments because so much of the music is very dense and very kind of tangled and very sort of angular rhythmically. And this piece does have that, but there's a different kind of flow thing going on. So let me show you a bit of this. So the whole piece alternates between this, from one beat it's a 16th note pulse, and the second beat it's a triplet pulse. The entire piece, look at that. Down, and on the next page, now I've I've circled some bits in green. You can see the dynamics are written, forte and piano, but sometimes I just tried to make them a little bit more obvious to myself. So that's the first piece we recorded, and that sounds really nice. Rich Kass is playing so softly on the drums, and it creates a completely different sound. You bring a completely different sound out of the drums when you play them so softly, and it's so quiet that you wouldn't normally hear it. But of course, when we've got a really fancy pants microphone right there on the drum, if I start to whisper, it's like whispering. You'd have to be really listening in to hear it. He's making the drums whisper. So what did we do after that? We did Stella. Aha, okay, this one was an epic. This is a new one. I think we've played this a few times live. Stella by Starlight obviously was the, some of the source material can be found there. Lots of changing between 6 and 5. Here's one of the parts. All these things up here, by the way, EBO, Sheck, delay, micro, those are all little notes for me about which pedals I can use if I want to, change a sound or do some experimentation. Also, look, I probably shouldn't make this confession, but where there are a lot of ledger lines, I get confused, and so I actually write the note names like F. Pathetic, eh? But I am a guitar player, so my sight reading is supposed to be poor. Okay, then we got a few more dense things like that. Those are a real pain, those things, because if you slip up halfway through something that's very long with no gaps, you can't really jump back on very easily, I find. We call it coming off the bus and trying to get back on the bus when the bus is moving. So, when we're recording, if you could listen to the entire day, you would hear us saying, I'm off the bus, and stuff like that. Solo form in Stella has got a lot of alternation between 6 and 5, lots of minor triads. We've got a cool drum solo. What else to say here? Oh, the bridge in Stella is really cool. It's a thing that Rich Harrold does in a couple of the other pieces as well, where there are two things going on at the same time, or one kind of responding to the other, like a musical conversation, but divided amongst the band, or rather not divided amongst the band. We're each playing a question and an answer, or a phrase and a response to that phrase. Okay, then we got the coda. This was really tricky. So we go between 9 and 13. And if you check out these intervals at the end there from I, the only way I could work out how to play that was with tapping. I couldn't really pick that. I just couldn't get the notes out. So I worked out a way of doing it with tapping like that. So that means like hammer-ons. If you've seen the Chapman stick, or Stanley Jordan is one of the most famous exponents of the technique on guitar. So yeah, that's quite fun, but very difficult. we got a question from Kate. Thanks very much. Thanks for the question, Kate. I really appreciate you tuning in. Are we publishing it ever? The piano part especially. Possibly. I'll mention to Rich Harrold that you're interested, and I mean, even if we don't formally publish in a book that's distributed over, across the globe, I'm sure we can furnish you with a piano part for one of the pieces at the very least, or a score. On our website, there should be 1 or 2 scores, so you could start there, Kate, if you're interested. And if you can't find them, let me know. Sometimes we focus too much on the music and not enough on our website and things like that. So maybe we need to update it. But I think there are, take a look. I think there are a couple of scores up on the website. Right, what did we do after that? We did apostrophe. Okay, so we talked to Rich about that yesterday. If you're interested in, if you like this information about the pieces, then there's a couple of other streams, including the one we did yesterday. And Rich talks about the piece Apostrophe, which is a version of Thelonious Monk's Epistrophe. Then we did concertinas for Bill, and today we're going to do the anthropometrics. So I talked about the prelude earlier. Let's see what we've got here. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. It's a very explicit development of these two, basically two accents. Dum da bum bap bum bap bum da bum bap, like that. Just 2 dots. Then then a sort of contrasting section. Looks a bit like that. You can see all these sections are the same. 10 9 7 9, 10 9 7 9, but then with an interjection in the B section. Then in C, 10 9 7 9, then a 7 16. Then the D section, 10 9 7 9 7, then 8, and then 10 9 7 9, then 7, then 8, then 7 again. So I don't want to get in trouble for showing you too much sheet music, but just to give you another example of one of those incredibly dense parts where it's easy to come off the bus if you slip off a note, or if I hit a wrong string and get disoriented or something. Here's another one of these, just this entire page. Okay, there is a rest somewhere. Where's the rest? I'm sure there's a rest somewhere. Oh yeah, there's one rest. You see that in the G section, in that second bar of 6, the 3rd beat. So that's the only rest on this page. And in some ways, the music we play in this band is about juxtaposing some more extreme or distant aesthetics to try and really for each to emphasize the other, like density with space, or high with low, or something like that. Another question. Thanks, Kate. It would be great to see you all discuss how you go about your interpretations of the classics. Okay, thanks, Kate. That's a really nice idea for a stream, actually. Maybe we'll do that. And I think, what Rich Harrold would probably focus on is how he takes the source material and basically recomposes music using some of the fragments, and trying to see what new musical threads he can follow. And I suppose then he uses his discrimination to chuck out the ones which he likes less, and to focus on the ones which he likes. But so if anyone hasn't checked out our album Standard Time, it's in all the usual places, like on livestream. The digital streaming providers like Spotify and Apple Music. So you can go and take a listen there if you like. And send in some questions about those pieces as well, because obviously you haven't heard any of the new ones. We promise we're going to play you some of the audio later today. Definitely going to do that. Hey Andrew, you're damn right, mate. It's really scary. The thing about those metric things is they just take a long time to learn, I find. When you've learned them, it's easy. but they do take a long time to learn. And yeah, there's no shortcut. And I think that's why, you know, we find them scary as well. But I guess it's leaning into that that thing of, oh, okay, what is it about this that's so difficult? And how can we try to, you know, collectively, if we put in some work, maybe we can create something that hasn't been created before, I suppose. Yeah, Tim, exactly. They do take bloody ages to learn. And, you know, we still need the music as well. You know, maybe one day in the 5,000 years we'll have them completely memorized. But hey, well, thanks for the messages, y'all. Trying to work out what else we're doing. We got some other cool ones. We've got 5, which is a version of 4 by credited to Miles Davis, although there's some dispute over the composition, or who really wrote it. And then we've got Flanagan's Lament. Maybe I won't tell you what that is a version of, and you can guess. But thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in and for the questions. We'll check in a little bit later, and yeah, hope everyone's doing well. It's Saturday, the weekend, so have a beautiful weekend. We'll see you later.